clapping cheeks.
Hey, how's it going? Cheeks here, and I'm back to bring you another MultiVersus guide video. And today we're going to be talking about Morty, and we're going to go over his normals, specials, tips and tricks, and perks. But before we get to the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for getting me to 200 subscribers. It really does mean a lot to me. I do hope to get to 500 by the end of the year. You know, it's just a personal milestone. But if you do enjoy this video or find it informational, don't forget to hit that like button. And also, it does help me out in the algorithm a lot. And also, subscribe for more MultiVersus content. But now, without further ado, let's get into the video. The first move we're going to go over is Morty's neutral attack. And yep, it's just his blaster. And it does have a cooldown for the first hit, and it does shoot snakes from, I guess, that one episode in Rick and Morty. It shoots snakes that go up and down, and if you're on the ledge, it could essentially keep you juggled or spike you downwards. It's actually really good. But when it's not doing that, yeah, it's just a hit. It has no hit stun. So it's similar to like Fox from Smash Brothers, where you can kind of just build up damage if you so choose to, or you can just play around it. And the next thing we're gonna go over is his forward combo, which he just does 2 hits and a hammer. And if you delay the final hit, it has a whip. And if you hit the edge of the whip, it has a sweet spot where it'll pull you towards the enemy. Yep. And you can probably do some tricky stuff with that as well, because Morty, at the end of the day, is a heavy setup character. That's basically the name of the game with Morty. But yeah, final hit pulls you towards people. The next normal we're going to go over is his ground normal, which is his armor breaking move, which is his Fleeb. Not the most useful thing. I still don't see the really use of it. It's not really much you can do about it. I mean, in my experience of trying to use this move online, I got beat up every time, and you can't really combo into it at all. Like, it has a lot of startup, but it is Morty's move to break armor, which again doesn't seem like a very good move, but I mean, I get there's perks for that, I guess, as far as like if you don't want to use that as like your armor breaking move. But yeah, that's about it. It's kind of just seems like it's a move that's there. The next move we're gonna go over is his up normal, which is pretty much the same thing as his neutral, except, you know, just angle it up. And you can also charge it and move around. You can move around a little bit, but yeah. And the power shot for this is the same as the neutral. It shoots snakes, but they go, you know, left and right instead of up and down. Now we're gonna go over the air normals, and with that, the neutral still just, you know, it's a little blaster. Down air is the big hammer fist, which is pretty good. Has a lot of kill opportunity. Air side normal, and with this, it has 2 different hits where it has, you know, a downward swing and a sideways swing. First hit can be charged. The second hit of this can be charged. The next one we're going to cover is this up air, which has a relatively big hitbox. And if you fast fall, you can essentially, you know, you can do some tricky stuff with that. And I believe it also applies a fire debuff to him as well. Alright, now we're going to talk about his specials, and a lot of his specials actually, just like Bugs Bunny, a lot of them kind of complement each other, which I guess is really why you can kind of do a lot with his specials. It's kind of like this character's bread and butter. With that being said, the first thing we're going to go over is his grenades. And with these, you can get out 3 at once. You can also use your blaster to redirect and shoot them, because depending on what angle they are or how many grenades out, whichever the first one was out, the blaster goes to that one first no matter what, and it'll travel to each location no matter what, as long as the grenades are still out. So for example, and then you can also angle it up, it'll go back to it. So whatever the last one that you threw out, or the nearest one to you, that would be the one that it goes to. It's very tricky. Very tricky, and you can do some things with that, but trust me, we're not done. Like all his specials blend in together, so you can. There's so many opportunities and setups you can do with a lot of this stuff, and also you can hold and aim it as well. And then the longer you hold it, the further it'll go, depending on how you angle it. And you can just throw it right at the ground as well too. And also the projectile that travels between the grenades has a moderate knockback on it as well. So you can get away with a... in certain situations, you can have it used as a get-off-me tool, depending on if you're getting rushed. But if they're using armor, you're just kind of going to eat it anyway. Now we're going to get into his side special, which is the rock pillar. And this move, you know, it's a fairly decent move. You get to pick the travel time of it, and it has a time limit on how long you can have it out. And yeah, it has a fixed range as well, so you can't go all the way across the map to hit somebody. But when you're in a certain distance, you can knock people towards you. Or if you have a grenade out, you can split the grenade. So that's a pretty little neat trick you can do there. How practical is it? I don't know. I mean, 2v2s, you could probably get away with setup like this, especially with some of the perks we'll talk about later with the evolving the grenade. But yeah, stuff like this is actually pretty neat, and it doesn't stop there as far as the synergy with all his moves. All right, the next special we're gonna cover is his down special, which is his warp, his TV remote warp, which with this is really good in like duos, but in solos, I mean, it's a good, like, you know, save me tool. And if you're close to somebody, when you return, does damage. And if you happen to be near and you do this, it also drops a grenade as well, and also heals you. So this move actually is pretty loaded with things. It heals, and if you have grenades available, it will drop a free grenade for you. The next special we're going to go over is probably the one that doesn't have too much synergy at all, and it is the up special. And yeah, it's just creating a ship. It's basically, you know, your recovery tool. It's one of your mini recovery tools, which we'll get into that in a second as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a platform you create. Alright, now we're gonna go over his air specials, which, for the most part, they're all really the same. Yeah, you know, air grenade, remote. The only one that's different is the side special, which is a armored teleport, which with this, it creates a projectile enhance as well. I'll show you. Because if you can angle it down to the ground, your projectiles and anything you throw through it get boosted. Not the rock though. The rock doesn't go through. Alright, now we're going to go over Morty's unique perks, and the first one we're going to go over is more than just a hammer. And with this one, it just gives your end combo with the hammer hit. It has multiple hits now, and in certain situations, if you sweet spot it, it sucks them in, which I find relatively hard to do. I think they have to really be on you, or it catches them dodging into you. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's pretty good in like a brawling setting. I feel like it's pretty decent. I think both of Morty's first two unique perks are really good. And the final one, which we'll get into a little bit later, I still don't know what it's supposed to be used for. Other than that, it just makes... you'll see. You'll see. The next perk is his grenade perk, which essentially... the longer they're out, the bigger the explosion is going to be, and the more damage it's going to do. And I like this one personally just because of like the setups you can do with it. But other than that, I think this is a really good perk as well. I mean, that's about it. It just makes the grenade explosion of if it sits there, basically your opponent has to watch out for it, or they're just gonna take damage and a lot of knockback, and basically set up for combo potential for your opponent. But all in all, yeah, that perk's also really good as well. And the final unique perk, which I think is not the most useful one, at least I don't think anyone's discovered a use for it yet, is the extra fleeb juice, where he has his little plumbus. And he's just faster on the ground. The crazy thing is, I'm not sure if this is a bug, but for whatever reason, this move doesn't have hit decay, but I also don't think this move can kill. So yeah, I guess if you somehow make this work, you know, go nuts. Yeah, this move has no hit decay at all. And all in all, I think you could probably run anything projectile base on Morty as far as perks go. He's very flexible, it seems. I mean, and also he's new. I played hours of him already though, so I mean, and for the most part, you can actually have that projectile focused gameplay, or you can be like that brawler that goes in and just, you know, does things with like the hammer and all that stuff, or play around your grenades. So if you have your grenades out and they hit you, or your ally grabs them, your ally can also pick up the grenades as well and help you out with that. I do think he's probably more 2v2 focused than 1v1, but I'm sure somebody's gonna like be cracked at him and essentially wreak havoc in 1v1s. But all in all, I feel like you could run pretty much anything on him, really. He can definitely be like a debuff or status effect monster with all his projectiles, because they already don't have any knockback when they're on cooldown, so you can essentially apply, you know, ice or fire for your ally to help you out. Anything status effect wise is really good with the projectiles. Anything projectile based, I feel like is good on Morty. And the only one I would say is like essential is probably CoffeeZilla, because everything he does is cooldown based. Well, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to drop a like, because it'll greatly help out the channel. And for more multiverse news, you're already in the right spot. Don't forget to subscribe, because I am trying to get to 1,000 subs. You know, road to 1,000. But this has been Colonel Cheeks, and you have a blessed day.